Hello everybody! So for today's video, what we're going to do is look at some Qigong exercises that can be very helpful with weight loss, or if you're at a weight that you're happy with, helping to maintain that weight, or if there's a weight goal that you have in mind, ways to help the body to reach that more effectively. So just before we begin our practice, I want to note, while these Qigong exercises and breathing exercises and other things we're going to do can be very, very helpful in terms of weight management from an Eastern and a classical Chinese medicine point of view, I should be noted that these are only going to be effective, or I should say they'll be more effective, if they're also combined with eating good quality food, good quality macrobiotic approach to food and nutrition, so that every aspect of your body is working to either maintain your healthy weight or help you achieve a particularly healthy weight. So just something to keep in mind as we begin. So from a classical Chinese medical point of view and from a macrobiotic point of view, when we look at weight in the body, too often what we are experiencing when we are above the weight that we would like to be is the body is holding on to excess. And so these Qigong exercises and other things that we're going to do are to help alleviate excess and rid the body of excess. So it's not about burning calories, it's not about getting your heart rate up, although I have a very strong feeling you'll feel warm. In fact, some of these things we're doing, you might even sweat a little bit, even though we're not really moving much. That's getting that qi and that energy and that metabolism flowing. So look at this more as a way to help purge and remove excess from the body, versus too often the way that we look at exercise from a Western point of view in terms of I gotta get my heart rate up and I have to burn so many calories and all these other things. We're going to look at this more holistically. So the first thing we're going to do are some opening doin exercises. So again, just open up the body, get our qi flowing, get our meridians open so everything can flow, and start to break up any obstructions. So you may have seen some of these before from previous videos or from other Qigong training you've done, but these opening doin stretches, these opening doin movements, are very, very good for anybody, but especially if what you are trying to achieve is a good, healthy weight. This will especially help to open up the body. So stand with the feet next to each other, touching, or maybe just an inch or two apart, and bring the hands over the belly. And just start by bringing a nice, deep, full, gentle belly breath, good diaphragmatic breath. In through the nose, filling the stomach. Out through the nose, relaxing in the stomach. Opening up the diaphragm and creating what we call the lower dantian, this lower energy center to get it to start to pump like a bellows, starting to stoke our inner fire, our inner qi, our inner vitality. So go through about 9 deep breaths this way. After you've had your 9th breath, taking your time to get there, interlocking the fingers and starting to bring the arms up overhead, feeling the waist and the legs move down into the earth, while the rib cage, torso, and arms go up into the sky. And hold this for about 9 breaths. I should note that with this video, what I'm hoping to do is that it will teach you the basics so that eventually you don't need it to practice along with. So if at any point I'm going faster than where your breath is, or slower than where your breath is, pause it or use this as you need to be a good tool. So don't feel as though you have to practice exactly the way you're found here. Use this to just give you the general idea of this practice and then make it your own. After your 9th breath, bring the body over to one side, opening up the rib cage and the waist. Keep that beautiful breath flowing. Give yourself 9 breaths here. Of course, if that's too many, come up sooner if that's what you need. And repeat on the opposite side. Qigong, we should never cause ourselves pain. We don't want to pay with our bodies. So we never want to stress our bodies to really do anything. So if we're reaching a point where you feel as though you're being challenged, continue with it. Challenge is good. That's what allows us to heal and grow. Pain or severe discomfort or knowing that we're doing something beyond your means is quite a different matter. So never go to that kind of a point. After your 9th breath, keep the waist and the legs and even the belly facing forward, and just gently twist the rib cage and the spine over to one side, again for about 9 breaths or so. Opening up the spinal column so all those nerve endings can flow easily. Keep that breath flowing. After your 9th breath, rotate over to the other side. Doesn't need to be far. We're not trying to be Gumby here. We're not trying to twist ourselves into pretzels. We're just opening it up. Open up the body. Keep that breath flowing deep into the belly. We never want to have the breath be rapid or up in the chest. We always want it in the belly, slow and deep. After your 9th breath, bring yourself forward. Kind of lift the heart up to the sky for a moment. And then slowly hinge from the waist, bringing the body down somewhere to rest the hands on the upper thighs, the knees, the shins, or if the backs of your legs and your waist will allow, down to the floor. It doesn't matter how far you go, we're just opening up all the energy channels and muscles in the back of the legs. Give yourself about 9 breaths forward, and then we're going to rotate the body and just do about 9 breaths over one leg. And give yourself about 9 breaths over the other leg. And after you've had that 9th breath, re-interlock your fingers to come up one final time. Legs and hips down, torso and arms up. Lengthening the body, and slowly letting your arms come out to the side, back to the belly. So even though we have not moved, I don't know about you, but I can already feel sweat moving at my hairline. It warms the body up. We have a lot of chi flowing as we open up these pathways. So now we want to open up the joints, because there's a lot of energy and vitality that moves through the joints. So starting with the head, we're just going to rotate the head about 9 times in each direction. And don't think of it about stretching the side of the neck. That can put a lot of strain on the side of the neck. Keep the neck sort of upright and just, I don't know, a turtle's the only animal that comes to mind to think about what we're imitating here. Feeling all that lovely crunch come out of the neck. Keep that breath flowing fully, deeply into the belly. And after you've had about 9 times in one direction, repeat 9 times in the other. If you don't hit exactly 9 or you go above 9, I swear to you it doesn't really matter. I just think 9 is a very important number, so it's a good base mark, good benchmark to go with. And after you've had about 9 or so here, the next off, and just give yourself 9 big full rotations of the shoulder, and really feel not just the shoulder head, but also the shoulder blade coming up, down, and back. Keep that beautiful breath flowing. We never, ever, ever want to stop the breath or cut off the breath. Excellent. Bring the arms out to the side, and we're going to open up all the energy pathways and the tendons in the arms. So 9 times back and forth. 1. And really let them open up. Good rotation. And after 9, let everything come down to the side. And give ourselves 9 barrel rolls with our waist in each direction. Doesn't have to be a big movement. Doesn't have to be anything grand. Just opening up the hips and the waist. And after 9 times, just rotate on the other side. If you're doing these seated, if you are sitting down or you're required to do these seated, just make the adjustment for doing any of these movements seated. So just to show you a quick example, if I were to be doing these movements but I had to be seated, I could sit. All the things we just did with the arms can still be done seated, all the twisting from side to side, opening the neck, the shoulders. And with the hips and waist, I'm just going to sort of bring my body in each side. So I'm really lifting out of the sides with each way, and then rotating on the other side. So there's always options. What I find so fantastic about the practice of Qigong is that it's not like some other forms of exercise or movement where you have to have a certain level of physical ability already. You could be in any state of health, truly any state of physical ability or health, and there's always going to be a form of Qigong you can practice. So once you've moved into the waist, we're going to do the knees. So just kind of rotating the knees about 9 times in each side. Not a huge movement, we're not trying to strain anything, but just to get those joints opened up. And same thing, you could be seated and doing this as well, just rotating the knees around too. And about 9 times or so in the opposite direction. Keeping that breath flowing. If you just breathe fully and deeply for 10, 15, 20 minutes, you will be sweating. Even just if nothing else, just to keep moving that breath, you will be warm. And then to finish, we're going to bring the wrists out and do 9 times in each side with the wrists. Keep breathing nice and full. And one ankle out, one leg out. Obviously you don't have to bring your leg up this high, I'm just showing you. And then 9 times in each side with the knee. Or with the ankle, whatever we're doing with the ankle. Just opening up all those energy points, all those pathways, and same thing on the opposite side. If you want to give yourself a little more of a challenge, when you're doing this, you can bring out one arm and then the opposite leg and do them in the same direction each of their times. If that's a lot, if that's more than you want to do, just let the arms do their own thing together and then do the ankle by itself, or feel free to combine them that way, completely up to you. So the body's open, joints are open, energy meridians are open, breath has been getting nice and full. So the more formal, if you will, Qigong exercise we're going to do to help with our weight is what's called the swimming dragon. And this is a very, very effective form of Qigong to really keep the, not just energy flowing in the body open, but this is very good for the thyroid and for the digestive system. 2 points that are very much connected with our weight and with our ability to either maintain a healthy weight, or if we've been gathering excess, to expel that excess. So bring the feet to touch. Knees are pretty close. The knees can even touch too if that doesn't make you feel too off balance. And the hands are going to sort of be in this triangle over the belly. And just breathe for a little bit, just feeling that breath move in and out through the belly. When you're ready, bring the hands together, passing up the heart, off the right side of the cheek, and as the arms go out to the side, the hips go out to the left, to the opposite side. The hips go back as the arms come forward, hips to the right as the arms and head come over to the left. The hands then make this sort of, I don't know what to call it, like blade or sword or something. So then the hands are going to pass over the throat as the eyes and hips go to the left, arms out to the right. Hands go past the heart as the eyes and hips go to the right. Hands go past the lower belly and groin as the eyes and hips go to the left. Hands go past the heart as the eyes and hips go to the right. Past the throat again as the eyes and hips go to the left. Up overhead, opening in each direction, and if it's comfortable, coming up on the toes a little bit, and then coming back down flat on the feet. Hands pass through the body, hands over the belly. And just let all that heat, all that chi just pour into the belly from the hands. Always give yourself a good 6 to 9 breaths to rest. Again, it doesn't look like we're doing much, but we are doing a lot with the body. And we're always going to come to this point of rest in between. Now, I don't know if you could tell, it's not an obvious S-curve, that as we're kind of coming out to each side, the spine is sort of moving in an S. So my head and my hips are always moving in the same direction, while my torso is going in the other. So we keep making this sort of S-curve, S, 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 S. We're always making this curve back and forth to really get into the spine, to really open up that huge energy center, and again, activate the thyroid, the respiration, and the digestion. So metabolism, metabolism, metabolism. So what you're going to want to do is do this about anywhere from at least 9 times up to about 26 times. So if you have the time, try to get a longer practice in with the swimming dragon. If you're just getting started, or if time is a factor whenever you're practicing, you can get at least 9 in. That's going to be really good to start feeling warm. And if you can get closer to 25 or 26, that would even be even better. So just to show, we'll do this 3 more times just to give you an idea. And then as you're practicing, you can either pause and go at your own once you've got the idea, or again, just go completely on your own once you have it really under your belt. So I won't say anything, I'll just demonstrate this 3 more times just so you can get an idea of what it looks like in its totality. And there we have the swimming dragon. So again, use this to practice along with until you feel comfortable, and then give it a good 9 times if you can, or starting to work a little larger than that, up to whatever point we really start to feel warm. Like my hands are warm. Your body should feel warm, and not warm like, oh, I ran a marathon and I'm exhausted, gasping for air. From the inside out, just warm. That's when you know you've really got some good chi cultivation. So to finish up with, we're going to do a set of breathing exercises, and then I'm going to show just a couple really easy acupressure things we can do for ourselves to, again, keep our digestion strong and our metabolism strong. So for our breathing, The first thing we're going to do is just take about a minute just for some deep belly breath. So nothing different than what we've done before, just good, full, deep inhale through the nose, really filling up that belly. Exhale out through the nose, emptying the belly. You always want your breath to be full, but not forceful. We're not trying to hurt ourselves, and we're not trying to be angry with our breath. It should be very graceful and deep all at the same time. So we'll just take about a minute. I would say when you start to feel comfortable with the breathing exercises, try for each of these 3 breathing routines to do them for anywhere between 3 to 4 minutes each, or as much as feels comfortable. With breathing exercises, we really want to be gentle. It's a lot of oxygen coming in, and it can really start to make us feel sort of loopy or dizzy or just not quite feeling right if we push it beyond what is comfortable and necessary and appropriate for our health. So listen to your body. Warm is good, different is good, but very uncomfortable or kind of nauseous or queasy, stop. Give it a couple minutes, breathe normally, and then if you want to try a bit more, you can, or just stop your breathing exercises for that for that practice. So just hands over, give yourself a good minute or so, or again, working up to about 2 to 3 minutes, maybe even 4 if it really starts to feel comfortable. Just deep in and out through the nose, filling up the belly and emptying the belly. Once you've done your length of time, whatever feels right, the hands rest for a moment. So the next thing we're going to do is an alteration of what's sometimes called wind breathing, which is 2 inhales and 1 exhale. So I'll over-exaggerate the sound. It doesn't have to be an audible sound, but normally it would look like so inhale, inhale, exhale. Make sure that you're still bringing those inhales down to your belly. So you don't want to just chest breathe. You want to be belly, belly, and by that second inhale, it might come up into the chest a bit, but you still want to be directing it into the belly. So that can be a very good exercise, breathing exercise for the immune system. But what we're going to do a little alteration on to really get that heat flowing, that metabolism going, and that discharge of excess from the body is on our exhale, forcefully, almost silly, like breathing out through the mouth. So again, we'll do this for about a minute or so, or as working your way up to a few minutes as feels comfortable. But inhale, inhale, and then out through the mouth, a really loud exhale. Oh. So breathing until you feel warm. About 9-10 breaths for me, I start to feel pretty warm. If you feel really warm and oxygenated before then, end sooner. If you feel you need to go a little longer, go longer. Just follow your body's intuition. And again, it doesn't have to be audible on the inhale. The exhale, you're definitely making your sound. You're making that but your inhale can be quiet, so it could be it doesn't have to be loud through the nose. And just to finish up about 3 times, or working your way up to about 9 times, We're going to inhale just gently, quietly, normally through the nose, filling the belly as we bring our arms up. And as we exhale, we're going to lean to the right to open up the left side of the belly where the stomach and the spleen run. And these are thought to be the organs most responsible for regulating our weight. So we want to kind of give these organs a little massage and a little stretch so that they can really work efficiently. So let your arms come down to the side, let your fingers kind of interlace, resting on the belly. On your inhale, coming up deep into the belly, leaning over. And on your exhale, coming up and out. Inhale. And on your exhale, coming up and down. And again, you can do up to about 9 of those if you'd like, or somewhere between 3 or 9. More if you feel guided to do more, just letting your body be your signal as to how far to go. So just to finish up with a little bit of acupressure, we're going to activate a point called CD3 right below the belly button. Right, with about 2-3 fingers below the belly button or so, right below the lower lip of it, and just pressing in. Not to the point we're hurting ourselves, but deeply pressing in. This is called C of energy. So really getting that digestive system churning, moving, digesting literally digesting the excess in the body and just keeping our energy levels up. So pressing in as firmly as feels comfortable. Getting the CV6. Conception vessel 6, right below the belly button. Hold this point for about a minute, maybe even up to 2 or 3, depending on what feels right for you. Gently, slowly letting the pressure go when it feels ready. Taking the hands, the back of the hands, and just over the lower back, just start to bring them up and down, just bringing a little warmth and friction into the kidney area. So this is bladder 23 and 47, C of vitality. So keeping our kidneys strong, our vitality strong. We can have a whole talk just on the importance of the kidneys. But kidneys do a lot to regulate our warmth and our body temperature, and a lot with our metabolism, and our adrenal glands are right on top of the kidneys. So keeping this area nice and healthy and full of energy, full of vitality. Keep breathing deeply, fully, gently into the belly. And after you've had about a minute or so, let everything come down to rest. And then we want to go up and down the outside of the leg, sort of on the outside of the knee, kind of coming down the leg towards the ankle, and on the same thing on the inside of the knee, coming down towards the ankle. There's several points that run along the kind of outside and inside portion of the lower leg that have a lot to do with water retention, body weight, metabolism, energy. So either with open palms or bringing the palms into very loose fists, I'm just going to go from my lowest little portion of the knee down to my ankle and up again for about a minute. Really getting this area activated. Keep that breath flowing. So after about 30 seconds to a minute, it should really feel nice and warm and tingling here. Once you get that warmth, let the movement, the activation become a little softer, a little lighter. And then we'll do the same thing in about 30 seconds to a minute, or even going a little bit beyond the minute if that feels right to you as you progress along in your practice. Either hands closed or open. I did open palm on my right leg. I'll do closed on my left just to show you it really doesn't matter. Just opening up those meridians, those energy pathways, getting all those acupoints, those energy centers stimulated and open. Some people even like to tap, so if you like to, you kind of tap along them. That's whatever you want. And if your arms are getting tired, this is where if you have a friend or a spouse or a partner or a family member or a kid or someone that can do this for you, give your arms a rest. Let them really get that area opened up for you. So once that area feels warm, full of life, just let everything relax down. And just take about 3 or 4 nice, full, gentle, deep breaths. Excellent. So that is our practice for keeping the energy strong, keeping the metabolism up, and helping the body to maintain or achieve a really healthy weight. If you have any questions for me at all about any of the things we have done, please, please, please reach out to me. I have my contact information in the little description center below. I hope you have found this information helpful for you, and have a really beautiful day, and be well.